Hi everyone, welcome back for another video on FCFC. Now, I remember when I was much younger, we used to play this card game and it is called Happy Family. I'm not sure whether you have it, wherever you are, but the card game in a nutshell is this is, yes, you have a deck of cards, and in the deck of cards, if I'm not mistaken, there are like sets of four, whereby there'll be a father, mother, brother, sister, that kind of thing, if I remember it correctly. So yes, you're given like a number of cards in your hand, and it's being distributed among everyone that's in the the group, that kind of thing, and then you're supposed to complete the sets. Do you have who, that kind of thing. And yes, you complete it, the first one to complete all the sets, you win the game. Okay, so if I'm mistaken, it works like that. Okay, now why am I telling you about the Happy Family card game? Okay, I believe when we look into SDFC, we can use some of those principles and apply it to SDFC as well. Okay, because just like in the Happy Family card game, you hold your cards, you are wondering who has what, who is keeping what, and then you start to map the whole picture of where the cards are at, who is holding it, who is holding not, or even in the game of poker, that kind of thing. Okay, so yeah, I think we should have that mindset when we approach FCSC. Now, in which areas I would suggest that you use that, especially in this. Okay, now we all have new officers being introduced like almost in every okay, and then depending on your server size, the server, the composition, whether you have more people who are spending money into the game, or whether you have people who are more laid back, that kind of thing. Okay, all this would you need to factor all these stuffs in, which would affect your your how to say, your chances as well. And then, for example, on my server, in my event bracket for Data's SLB, so we have only like 9 players, I'm mistaken. Yeah, 9 of us. Okay, so we are competing against one another. So if we do not like go all in, so we will get a minimum of this, okay, 45 of data shards. Okay, now whenever there is something new, I believe that we all might be like sucked into that hype of yes, I want to get it, and yes, he is new, he's epic, he's good, that kind of thing. And so therefore you try your best to pour resources into it. But I believe for an event that is like a 3 days long event, you don't necessarily need to start early. You get what I'm saying? You don't need to necessarily go in or even test water on day one. I believe that we should hold back or pace ourselves nicely and see how we can slowly review the cards that we have in our hands, and then to fully benefit from it. Okay, so what is happening is this. Okay, now we still have a day and 10 hours to go. Okay, there's like 1.5 days to go, and then we are already seeing people hitting like 30 million. Okay, and then we have someone from my alliance hitting 19 million. Okay, now I told him not to go like heads on against these people, because I know and I've been seeing how they play. Doc Who, Mando, okay, and Kali and Dawn, they do spend a bit in the game, and then if you do not play this right, you are potentially burning yourself out. Okay, now he was at 12 mil yesterday, Magoo. Okay, and I told him, hey, look, hold back, don't go all in yet. Okay, because unless you have a lot of money that you are willing to spend on this event, which I think is not so worthwhile, because okay, there are so many other opportunities out there whereby if you were to spend like those resources that you need to bump up the points, if you need to do those researches that need to get those points as well, well, for all to get these numbers, okay, 30 mil, 90 mil, 50 mil, 12 mil, that kind of thing, you might have spent it on something and not being able to kill two birds with one stone, with events like this, which would be able to give you even more rewards. Just look at this. You have another SLB, research SLB, okay? And then if you were to do those researches like right now, okay, and not back then, and you might not, or you will not even find yourself in a situation whereby you might be telling yourself, if only I waited, okay? So I believe we got to be wise and then have a little bit of mind game happening here and there. Okay, well, like I said earlier, it all depends on your server, but then there are some servers whereby those who are spending a little bit more than like you, okay, might have like just go all the way out, point everything, and they still have bullets to shoot, in the next event, or if things didn't go their way, they are still able to top it up. But if you are in that kind of position whereby what you have are limited, then I would advise you to be very wise about it. Hold back. Okay, look at the scenario, because the earlier you're getting into it, okay, I'm saying this again, the earlier you're getting into it, okay, you are actually raising the bar higher. Okay, yes, because now take it this way, if I go all out into it now, I have 80 million to spend on points easily. Yes, I said it, 80 million on points to spend easily. But if you were to look how I'm playing it slow. I'm actually at 3.5 million only, and I have 80 million to spend. Okay, and I can easily drain them out easily if I were to play it right. Okay, now the highest is 30 mil, and I believe Mendo for one will try to top it to 40 or 50. Now, how I know this? Because you need to know your competitors well, and depending on your server as well, there will be the few number of people who would be going all out to get something or to achieve something in game. Okay, so you need to know your opponents, and then you need to strategize how to go against them wisely. Okay, so 3.5 million. Okay, now when I do this, it will also perhaps give an idea, an assumption to other people out there, my competitors, thinking that perhaps XR is not interested. Yeah, I mean, perhaps XR is not interested. Now, can you imagine if we do not have Magoo, we do not have Dot Who, okay, it's just Mendo, Kelly, Don, and XR. Okay, let's say the highest at 15 million. I'm nowhere near Mendo. I'm nowhere, okay, or maybe just look at this, okay, to make it like applicable, okay, so that you are able to see. Now, I said I have 80 mil to spend, right? Okay, what if I were to go to 25 mil? Yes, what if I were to go to 25 mil and Doc Who saw me at 25 mil? I am very sure Doc Who will top it up by another 10 or 15 mil. Okay, when I do that, when I start tailing someone in SLB, what I'm doing is I will be raising the bar higher, and I will be potentially spending, investing things that I do not need to. Things that you do not need to. I mean, come on, look, if the competition is not there, any wise people, common sense, would think or could conclude thinking that, yeah, I am alone, I have no one to compete against, I do not need to spend the extra. You get what I'm saying? Okay, so when we approach SLB, I believe this, do not get sucked in the hype, because there's no trophy. Seriously, there's no trophy in starting early. Remember, SDFC is a marathon. It's not a sprint. It doesn't matter if you get number one on day one. Doesn't matter, because once the event comes towards the end, I can tell you for sure, you would be toppled down, or you will find yourself spending too much than you initially planned to. Okay? And because most of us, we are sucked into this hype, we want to get it, we really, really want to get it, we might not even consider whether do we actually need to get it in order to use it. Okay? Now, just look at Data's description, okay? Captain's ability, 17% to critical hit chance against hostiles and armadas. Now, he is only useful in the PvE environment. Okay? That means it won't work against players, it won't work against, like, other stuffs. Okay, so it's only for hostiles and armadas. That's it. Okay, and then look at the officer's ability, 60% to all penetration stats against non-player targets. Okay, so it works well with non-players only. Okay, and to make it worse, gotta thank those people at LCARS, because thanks to them we have the information of what we are able to look at or what we can project and expect. Okay, 70%. And if you have data, epic data, okay, you can punch it in. Okay, you do it by typing exclamation mark, but you don't do data because it will show you those data space, that kind of thing. So you got to do officer data. Press enter, you'll be able to see officer data. Okay, don't look at the wrong data, look at the right one. Okay, the epic one. Okay, now 70% base, and you can increase a max of 8% if you have him at full synergy. Now we all do know that I don't think many of us would want him at full synergy, okay, because of how the other officers are, the abilities of the other officers are giving, that kind of thing. Okay, so I think you'll be needing him on, like a mix and match kind of scenario, and then you might use him for the captain's ability or for the the officer's ability. Well, it's entirely up to you. Okay, so but what I'm saying here is that there is only a max of 25% full synergy, and I believe you'll be using him with Khan. Okay, so there goes one part of it, so which means 21% max synergy. And if you're not using the other officer, a command or an engineering officer, to boost it up from 17 to 21, okay, then you only start with 17%. And that is if you are using him as a captain. Okay, if you're not using him as a captain, then if you stash him aside, this doesn't even matter at all. Then you'll be left with 60%. Okay, and with 60% base, okay, 60% base. Now this is the next point that I'd like to hit at. Okay, because you will need to level up your officer data in this scenario by getting the amount of shards that you need to grow the 60% to a much higher figure, to 12%. Okay, it's not easy. It's not easy. Okay, you need 100, 200, 400. Okay, that kind of thing. Okay, you need that amount of shards in order to grow data's ability to 200%. And knowing well how the game has been playing us players, I believe you will find it very, very hard to get data shards. Yes, okay. A very good example, look at Khan, okay. Khan, you can only get his shards where? You can only get his shards during Swamp Weekends, okay, which is during the event Refresh tonight, okay. And if we don't want to use Khan, look at Loka. Loka was introduced during the Discovery arc, okay, a very good officer. You can get Loka during the arc, and after that, you do not see him anywhere in any packs, nothing else except it was like in TOS 3, that kind of thing. St. Patrick's Day, he was reintroduced for the short period of time only, and after that, no more to be seen, no more Loka. Yeah, so for me, I think if you were to go for data, the epic data, don't get your hopes too high. Yeah, because I believe most of the time you'll be stuck with only 60% or 120% at most. At most. Unless Scope Diesel decide to introduce him in packs, which I don't think it is likely. Okay? And unlike Jody, next weekend we'll have Jody again, but data there's only once. Okay, data there's only once that he will be available for auction. So you can only grow his amount of shards once. That's it. Okay, and there are no other opportunities in game for you to, get it higher. Where is it? Is it here? Okay, let's see. Okay, the specials over additional events. So Jody twice, data once. See that? Okay. So yeah. So what? You get 100 shards, and then you only get you are only able to unlock him level 1. Okay. Same like Mud as well. Okay. Mud was introduced during like special events. You unlock him. That's it. Okay, you have no other ways of getting his shots. Okay, now what do I think? What do I think? Well, I have not used data, so I can't tell whether he's really that effective or not. Okay, but just looking at those figures and looking at how I can promote him to a higher position so that I can increase the 60% to something more, I don't think data is that worth it, whereby you should dump it all in. Okay? Yes, because I believe the amount that you need to gain power to get those points that you need, all these, there are many domination events coming, there'll be other arcs coming, and there are only so much that you can do in game because everything will get so much more expensive. Trust me, everything will get so much more expensive, everything will require so much more, and it will definitely put a dent in your resources, okay? Unless of course you have extra money to spend, then you can buy packs to top it up your resources. Well, okay, that's a different story altogether. Okay, so I'll end by saying this again. Whenever you see an auction, especially for an officer, a new officer, don't go all in on the first 2 days. Play it slow, pace it out, okay? And if you know that you would have a very good advantage over other players because of how much you're able to spend, pace it out and then try to get more rewards by killing two birds with one stone, okay? Because you never know. We have other events right here whereby you have, other SLBs like the officer one, you have the research one, you have the buildings one, that kind of thing, okay? Whereby the amount that you invest in could win these two, okay? And you will not be so focused on just one event which is not paying you that well. Now, I believe this is not paying you that well at all, okay? Because of the ability that of the officer, data officer that I'm getting, okay? So pace yourself. Don't rush in. Only fools rush in. Okay? Play it slow. Plan it. And take it. Yeah. Take it. Take it when you can and when you have the resources too. Okay? So yes, I hope you enjoy this video. Okay? I'm not scolding. I'm not lecturing. I'm just giving you another perspective on how to look at things. Okay? Because I believe sometimes when we do certain things, we are only like putting ourselves at risk because we raise the bar so much higher than what we can afford to do or that we want to do. So I do not want to see you getting burned out like that, because I've seen many players who went in hard, who didn't like plan it how they want to play it, and yes, they got burned out and they left the game. It's sad. And all these were good players, good people who took the wrong approach to auctions. Okay, so this is on auction primarily, and I hope that it has helped you. If you like this video, smash on the like button. If you'd like to hear more from me, subscribe to the channel. If you haven't already, now come on, subscribe to the channel. I believe I've been like giving you good contents, right? Okay, to help you progress in game. Okay, if you haven't subscribed, please do already. Okay, and yes, I will see you in the next video. Live long and prosper. See ya. Bye.